Alright, ladies and gentlemen, whoo, we've got a Roomba for the low price of $15. Listen to that, there's the step motors in there. Okay, here we go. iRobot. Overall weight, probably on a level of 10 to 15 pounds. The metal charging connectors, so it would be able to index itself into a dock. This probably would seat on the dock somehow. This must be some sort of IR sensor. I thought it was a knob for a second there. And then exhaust fan. Alright, let's start from the bottom, huh? Bottoms up. Alright, here's the Roomba in action, and here is the manual. I know, sacrilegious. So, it even gives us the basic anatomy. So we can see the infrared sensor up top. I was right about that. This back part is actually a bin, so pushing down that, you can see it actually takes out the entire back section, and then we would dump that, I imagine, and place it back in. Cliff sensors, I imagine those detect sudden drops, such as stairs or things like that in houses. Make sure the Roomba doesn't go over those. Side cleaning brush, front caster wheel. Clearly the part that steers. Well, no, it just follows. Bearings, guards, and caps. If we go a little further, you can see the cleaning patterns, and there's the actual cleaning stages. So we get swept up into the main brush and then deposited into this back chamber, like so. Anything else interesting? Here's the cleaning bin. We seem to have you can see the cleaning patterns, and there's the actual cleaning stages. So we get swept up into the main brush and then deposited into this back chamber, like so. Side brush, front caster wheel, bottom cover, battery, cleaning head, right side, left side, side brush. I did take the cleaning section off. It was flagged with yellow for a reason. And there we go. Here's our filter component. Quite dirty. Let's see if we can figure out a rubber, I want to say overmold. Pretty simple to take the actual filter part out. I imagine this part is the part that's replaceable, so you can order something new. And there we go. Yuck. You can see all the points for the welding. And we can see, pulling apart this rubber, we've actually got little loops molded into the product that the rubber is supposed to penetrate through. So the rubber actually molds itself onto the loops. Brilliant. Okay, so we've got a mini piece assembly here. This cover is actually just being trapped by the two pieces. I guess that would be where the air blows out after it's swept all the dirt past the filter into the dirt chamber. You can see the button actually presses down on this yellow piece. And finally we can remove this piece. This is filthy. It's also got another overmolded piece of plastic. You'll get power from the main body of the Roomba, the battery, and route it out to the motor. And there we go. Not sure how to get it apart from here though. Probably take the control.
Break it. I don't notice my computer screen's so this clearly does.
Actually, it's another vibration weld, I think, and this bottom plate and this top plate come apart. Just an impeller, I suppose, with a propeller. Of course, we do have a little bit of a press fit in here. There we go. Okay. When it spins, yeah, air in, air out. Standard motor right here. That is super seized. Does not want to spin. And that comes away quite easily. Just a few little cantilevered snap-on tabs. We have some sort of diagnostics in-out port right there. Remove side brush before removing cover. Thanks.
For some decent advice.
Of course, you're going to get tons of crap stuck back here. This is supposed to get corners because the Roomba is so round it can't get in those. Although, I don't really know what that's going to be doing. You can see we've got a dual mold. Got a plastic piece, and then it actually is made in such a way that the rubber can be molded in. It'll lock itself into these little T-shapes. I mean, this is a pretty crazy mold. They're sewn in actually, so at least part of these are made hollow, and then they're put in and sewn across. So actually, a fairly complicated part, I would say. There we go. Nice of these screws to stay in place. Interestingly, here we've got some foam, which matches up to this battery to prevent vibration, I suppose. We've got wheels on some pretty extreme springs. I think I'd like to try this front bumper first. That battery drops out almost immediately. Nice packaging. From there, we can get the front off. Wires for the IR sensor. Nicely removable with a little plug. Pretty dirty, of course. Got a lower flange that was held in place by all the screws. Clearly it is a... no clue. Now the actual wheels are strong enough to hold this whole thing up. Okay, back to the bottom. Metal piece to tension the front bumper. Imagine these are some sort of actual bumper sensors or just structural bumper. We got the cliff sensors. Plenty of other things. It's so complicated in here. We've got same type of motor, of course, although different configuration on the controller. Motor comes up through here, turns this. Maybe like a 4.5. And then on this one, yeah, same, 4.5. Slowing that ratio down, very satisfying. Would line up with these two. So I can get the lift out if I... see, so these yellow bits are actually for the cage. Cage lifting up. Obviously, levers highlighted with a different color, and then we've got a metal cage, which appears to be one piece. Looks like it's actually molded in as well, which is quite impressive. Yeah, it's definitely molded in. Then we come to the actual roller, which should be able to be cleaned. It looks cleanable. I can't say I'm going to do it. And then we have these snap-on indexers that allow it to sit back into place. And there's a square drive on the end that seats. So yeah, driving this side. We've got a bunch of scoopers. We've got these shaft molded in there. And then this yellow piece is actually holding the shaft on somehow. Probably just pressed in. And that is what is a little bit of a snap just on the end there. Oh, we've actually got, interesting, okay. Plenty more screws in this piece. Okay. Very nice finish on these parts, even though they're inside. That would have gone right here. The whole thing would come up or down depending on the wheels. So many screws. Got a nice metal cover, since I knew how much dust would be in here. I really need to seal everything out from the circuit board. Huh. No clue at this point what it's going to. This would seal it. Maybe when something presses against this bottom side. Sticking mold. And there is the gear drive that allows the motor to spin these two shafts. Ooh, we got a magnet in there for sure. But oh man, is that ever clogged up. And the last two don't really want to come out there. These ones are all just molded in to transfer from place to place. This Roomba has definitely seen some days, seen some use. And all this work just so we don't have to spend our time cleaning. Fair enough, I suppose. Okay, so rather than being some sort of wire, maybe I just need another point of contact? Maybe this whole thing rotates sometimes? Here's the gearbox. And the drive is entirely coming out of this side. That definitely still feels good. All these bushings can be punched out. Once the back side is out, these pegs probably index to the faceplate earlier. Well, maybe not the faceplate, but I guess they would index to the bumper plate. And then since they're different plastic, they have to be screwed in. It's got our part tracking number. You can see the end of the spring there. And that just pretty much just made to fill in that gap. So they had to make a whole two-piece system. Pretty funny. Base plate. Translucent. Most likely acrylic, maybe polycarbonate. No immediate markings. We've got the actual faceplate mask. Boom. Huh. Closing ring. God damn. There's the actual timing LEDs. Man, this is crazy. Okay, I'm gonna take a break. Okay. And now we're back with this messy teardown. Mushy. Right, so we had just gotten the faceplate off. Clearly, we have actually just LEDs shining through this injection molded piece. One of them has a hook to be held in place for the, I believe that's a dirt sensor. Yes. There we go. We've got a live hinge piece right here. Just uses the flexibility of the plastic to act as a button. So many damn screws. After you take the screws out, it's still a tight fit on the whole thing. And as you can see, that's working because there's plenty of dust on it. So these are just hemispherical switches. The clean one is hitting this one in the middle, just with this one raised. Quite a tight fit on there. Probably for a good reason. And there we go. Should be able to get these out now. In a perfect world, we should. Probably just side pieces being annoying. Brute force. Works like a charm every time. Bam. There are our other two pieces. They actually interlock around each other so that they both can get a pivot. iRobot scheduling UI. Got some Japanese here. Chinese, sorry. Not made in Japan. This would index with that earlier piece that I taught. You can see it's got two metal tabs, and they slide in to make contact. One piece, nice and simple. Still plenty of screws. We can. Is that going to be enough? That is. And man, do we have a lot of wiring in the back here. Woo! Look at that. Plenty of sensors on this bad boy. I've got an inductor. Okay. Man, this thing is a complicated piece of work that I do not fully understand. Here's the main battery terminal. Dang. There's the bumper, and it has a bunch of IR pieces built into it. Man, it's so delicate. Not sure what that means either. But it's actually been molded so that these can just be bent into place. I wonder if that's done by hand or not, but it's a nice, easy way of doing all the attachments. Oh, what a fucking mess. This part just gives me a headache. And here's the whole mess of wires with the LEDs and infrareds on the end and whatnot. Okay, this bottom plate. Once again, another dust cover. Got to insulate the whole metal plate, I suppose, from the electronics. Don't want anything touching. So I've got a fairly thick sheet of, I just imagine, polystyrene. So we have a motor for each of these separately. Quite a long spring, you can see. A lot of holding power to counteract that spring. Definitely comes apart readily. The mechanism for the spring is right here around this motor pivot. Maybe it's hit by one of the rollers. Could be hit by the wheel itself, so it can tell when there's downward pressure or not. And that's probably what this is. So instead, we'll just go around it. There is our gearbox. Quite the reduction. And then our motor pops out pretty easily. Here's the front bumper section out. Interestingly, these don't actually connect anything, so they're just there to provide some bounce factor, prevent it from getting harmed. Pretty simple. You can just see the cut throughs for the springs there. Kind of a fun bit. Mechanism that rubber protection. And now we can see. So it's sensing nothing, but when it's pressed, it's pretty much an on or off. So as soon as it gets past this point, the sensor is saying we're up against something, probably like a wall. So that's how it's mapping the room. That snaps on. Ah, I see. They've got some IR here. Is black and white. So we probably have some sort of sensor in here which can measure whether it's black or white, and in doing so tell the distance traveled by the number of revolutions. And it works well for curves because the caster will just go to an angle. We've got ourselves a sensor. Clear, so clearly it has some sort of optical component. And then we've got another black and clear LED. Easy peasy. We've got a speaker back here, interestingly enough. I'm not sure what sounds the Roomba's making, but something like done or... there you have it, the battery terminals. Well, charging terminals. Easy enough to pull off.